Hello, my loves. How are you today? Today we're making an egg curry, and I'm leaning towards more of a brown stew, almost like a Nepalese curry. And I have to say that not all stews that use a lot of spices are actual curries. Some are just stews, and the stew I'm leaning towards today is a Nepali curry that I had somewhere, and what they were doing is using mostly the more earthy spices like cumins and jeera, dana jeera, that is cumin and coriander, powdered coriander. Just for every meal they were cooking, they would use just two or three spices, you understand? So today I'm going to be doing a curry, and a lot of times when Kenyans are making a curry, we will use just curry powder and just add a bit of each of the other spices that go into a curry, and that would be spices like turmeric, which we use too much of, I find. Because what you should ideally do is use just half a teaspoon or even a quarter teaspoon if you're adding on to a curry powder, because it already contains turmeric. I know that a lot of people go for that yellow color, but it's a very potent spice. That is why it is medicinal. So I'm first of all cooking rice, and I added rec onions into that just for more flavor. It was delicious with that. I was making parboiled rice. So now on starting our stew, I'm going to first fry my whole cumin and cardamom pods into that hot oil. If I had, I would add mustard seeds also, and you want to cook this until they pop. Then once you add the onion, you want to cook it until it's a little softer before now we add the spices. We don't let the onion cook. You add the spices because it will aid in the browning, and you also don't want to add the spices after the onion has browned because it will become a little bitter. So I'm adding the curry first, and then just half a teaspoon of that turmeric. Now, once you're cooking or once you've added the tomatoes, you should taste, yeah? And so after that, after the turmeric, I added cumin, and now this is ginger. I'm going to add just an eighth of a teaspoon. So that should be half of a quarter teaspoon. So with turmeric, the ginger, and also the cumin, you can add very little because uh, those spices are already contained in the curry medley, because curry powder is a medley of other spices. So if you're going to add any more spices, they should be minutely added, yeah? Just very little, depending on the type of spice you have. But turmeric and ginger are quite hot in this dish. You don't want them to overpower all the other spices. Having said that, there are milder spices like the cumin. It's strong, but also very earthy. But you shouldn't put too much because it will influence the flavor of the stew. Okay, so you want it to be curried, but also very palatable. You don't want very sharp flavors, yeah? And with a dish like this, it's very important to add the tomatoes because they sort of calm down the dish, yeah, or the heat of the spices. Remember, because we added the spices into the onion, we are going to really fry that, essence of the spice, so to say. We are going to bring out all the oils and all the smells, so this will be very, very rich, yeah. And sometimes when these spices are not used correctly, that is what drives a lot of people to say they don't want the dish to be very spicy. Okay, remember, if this was an authentic Indian meal, I would have added chilies into my hot oil. But I'm not doing that because we don't eat a lot of chilies. The only hot thing here I'm adding is the black pepper, and you can use white pepper if you prefer. Okay, so having done all of that, I added the tomatoes just to help with that, mellowing down of the spices. Otherwise, they would be so hot. Now, a lot of communities will add yogurt, especially Indians. They add yogurt into that. You can add yogurt or cream, and especially coconut milk or cream works very well with curries. But the Asians are known to add yogurt into their dishes just to tone down the heat of the spices. So the spices don't make the dishes hot. The chilies do, but also this medley together can make it very, very potent if not used correctly. So remember to tone down the spices that are really, really spicy, like turmeric. When I say turmeric, I believe you understand what I'm saying. And so when you cook your curry, you know it's done by how the oil just comes above the food. Asians are known to use clarified butter or ghee instead of oil. But anyway, this is my outcome. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.